Chosen one, listen to me with every part of your spirit awake, because what I am about to speak into your life is not coincidence, not imagination, and not a random message drifting into your day. This is a divine morning order, a spiritual dispatch arriving in perfect timing, carrying instructions and clarity that your soul has been starving for. You may not realize it yet, but something has shifted in the unseen, something has broken, something has been released. And the reason your heart feels unsettled, the reason your sleep has been lighter, the reason your intuition has been whispering louder is because heaven has just stamped your next assignment with urgency. You are being awakened, not by accident, but by divine intention. And the moment these words reach you, something within you will recognize the truth of them, as if you already knew this day was coming. You have always known you were different, even when you tried to blend in. Your spirit never matched the spaces you walked through. Your energy never felt at home in places others seemed comfortable settling. You were the one who felt the weight of the room before anyone spoke. You were the one who sensed danger before it surfaced, who detected dishonesty before it revealed itself, who loved deeply even when your heart was misunderstood. You were the one who carried burdens that did not belong to you simply because you could not bear to watch others suffer. And because of that, you have been broken in ways no one ever saw. You have cried in silence, fought in silence, and rebuilt yourself in silence. Yet through all of that, you remained chosen. You were chosen in moments that hurt you so deeply you questioned whether you had been forgotten. You were chosen in seasons where you prayed for one sign, just one, that your life still had purpose. You were chosen when people dismissed your heart, when they spoke against you, when they took advantage of your kindness, when they misread your intentions, when they mistook your softness for weakness. You were chosen when you stood alone because you refused to betray your own spirit. And you were chosen when the world seemed to be collapsing around you, but something inside you would not break the way others expected. You held on even when you did not know what you were holding on to. You have endured pain that should have destroyed you. You have faced losses that still echo in the chambers of your memory. You have walked through nights where you questioned your worth, your purpose, your path, and even your identity. At times you felt invisible, unheard, and unappreciated. At times you kept going simply because stopping was not an option. And though people around you may have seen only a calm surface, deep within, spiritual storms were raging, storms that no human strength could survive. But you did. Somehow you did. And it wasn't because you were lucky, it was because you were chosen. There are things you have walked through that no one understands, not because they couldn't out-understand, but because they were never meant to. The battles you fought were not physical, they were spiritual. The wounds you carry were not created by circumstances alone. They were part of a divine refining process that shaped your spirit into something unbreakable. The tears you cried were not wasted, they were seeds. And now those seeds are beginning to grow into something powerful, something sacred, something undeniable. You have felt isolated, but your isolation was never punishment. It was preparation. When God hides you, it is because He is forming you into something that cannot be influenced, diluted, or shaped by the expectations of others. You were not isolated because you were weak. You were isolated because you were being instructed. And now the instruction is starting to unfold. You can feel it. Something in your spirit knows that you can no longer remain where you were. Something in you knows that you are being called forward, called higher, called deeper. And the divine morning order arriving today confirms that your time of waiting has officially expired. You have been carrying the weight of old disappointment, old heartbreak, old betrayal. There are prayers you stopped praying because the answers seemed too far away. There are dreams you folded and placed quietly inside yourself because life forced you to survive instead of hope. There are parts of you that have been locked away for years, old creativity, old ambition, old passion, old joy, buried under responsibilities, exhaustion, and the constant pressure to keep going even when your spirit felt empty. But God is touching those places now. He is awakening what you thought was dead. He is stirring what you thought was gone. He is reigniting the fire you believed had burned out forever. This is the moment where heaven interrupts your routine, your doubts, your fears, your exhaustion, and declares, "Enough, rise." This message is your spiritual summons. You are being recalled to your position, reinstated to your authority, reminded of your identity. For too long, you have walked with your head down, thinking your life was on pause, thinking your blessings had been delayed indefinitely, thinking your prayers were unheard. But the truth is, your blessings were not denied. They were being aligned. Your prayers were not ignored. They were being assembled. And now the arrangement is complete. Everything you have endured has been leading to this moment. Every heartbreak, every confusion, every sleepless night, every silent prayer has been connected piece by piece, forming a pathway only the chosen ever walk. And now that you have reached this point in your journey, the atmosphere around you has shifted. The divine morning order has been released. Prepare, because something you have been waiting for, something you thought was lost, is coming back into your life with clarity, force, and divine precision. The transformation you have been sensing is not imagination, it is instruction. It is not just change, it is activation. You are being awakened because what is coming requires your full presence, your full spirit, your full readiness. And though you may feel unsure, though you may feel unprepared, though you may feel unworthy at times, heaven has already decided. You have been chosen for this next elevation, and nothing can stop what has already been commanded. Chosen one, as you move deeper into this message, something in your spirit is beginning to settle into truth. You can feel the weight of what you've lived through rising to the surface, not to torment you, but to remind you of your own resilience. There are chapters of your life that were not simply difficult. They were battles, and not the kind of battles people around you ever fully understood. These were spiritual confrontations disguised as crises, heartbreaks, betrayals, and sudden losses. These were unseen wars that tried to break your identity, steal your faith, and silence your voice. But you survived them. You endured storms that others would have collapsed beneath, and you did it with wounds still healing, with a heart still learning how to trust, and with a spirit that refused to bow to darkness. There were moments you fought battles you could not explain to anyone. Moments when you woke up feeling heavy without knowing why. Days when an unexplainable pressure sat on your chest. Nights when shadows felt too close, when fear whispered to you, when confusion tried to twist your thoughts. You were not imagining those seasons. Those were spiritual attacks designed specifically for you. The enemy does not waste resources. He targets those who are marked, those who carry something powerful, those who threaten darkness simply by existing. And you, chosen one, have always been a threat. The very reason your life has felt like a battlefield is because your spirit has always held a frequency that agitates darkness. Your innocence irritated it. Your kindness weakened it. Your integrity disrupted it. Your light exposed it. From a young age, you were different, not by choice, but by calling. Other people navigated life casually, but you encountered warfare disguised as life lessons. You endured betrayal that felt personal. You encountered people who hated you without cause. You were met with jealousy from individuals you never competed with. And the strangest part is that many of these battles came from those you tried to love, protect, or uplift. But let me reveal something to you now. None of this was random. Heaven saw every battle. God watched every attack. Every time someone lied about you, God saw it. Every time someone tried to sabotage you, God recorded it. Every time someone took advantage of your compassion, every time someone tried to humiliate you, every time someone celebrated your pain, every time someone underestimated your spirit, none of it was hidden. It all accumulated in the spiritual realm, stored in places you could not see, forming evidence for your vindication. What you thought were losses were actually deposits into your spiritual account. What you thought were setbacks were divine setups. What you thought were failures were training grounds. You have been sharpened, refined, and stretched in ways that have built a level of strength most people will never possess. Strength that is not loud, strength that does not boast, strength that does not demand recognition. It is quiet, steady, tested strength, the kind that can only be formed through adversity. There were days when you felt overlooked, seasons when you wondered why others were advancing while you were stuck in the same place. Moments when you questioned whether God had forgotten your name. But the truth is, He was watching you with intense focus. You were being observed the way a soldier is observed during crucial training, the kind of training that prepares them for high-ranking assignments. You were not stuck. You were being fortified. And now those who underestimated you are starting to feel something they cannot explain. They sense your rise before they see it. They feel the energy around your name shifting. They feel the vibrations of your breakthrough before it even manifests in your physical life. Some of the people who once mocked your faith, questioned your vision, or dismissed your purpose are becoming uneasy. They do not know why they feel it yet, but their spirit is picking up on the truth. You are about to rise. Your adversaries, seen and unseen, are trembling, not because of who you are in the natural, but because of who you are becoming spiritually. There is a power awakening in you that they cannot stop, block, or manipulate. The same people who weaponized your past against you will witness God elevate you in ways they never imagined. The same forces that tried to break you are now forfeiting territory. Some individuals who once felt confident speaking against you now feel an unexplainable anxiety when your name crosses their mind. This is spiritual law working in your favor. For years, you endured cycles that drained you, cycles of rejection, cycles of disappointment, cycles of starting over when you thought you had finally found stability. However, each cycle taught you something. Each cycle strengthened your discernment. Each cycle stripped away illusions. You see people for who they are now. You sense energy before words form. You read intentions without needing explanations. You no longer trust blindly, but you also no longer fear loss. You have grown in wisdom, and wisdom has made you unshakable. In the shadows of those battles, you developed something rare. You developed spiritual clarity. You developed the ability to see beyond the surface. You developed the courage to walk alone. You developed the patience to wait for what aligns with your purpose. You developed an inner authority that refuses to bend to manipulation or chaos. You may not realize it yet, but you have become a spiritual giant. Even while feeling small, you have become powerful even while feeling tired. You have become unstoppable even while healing. Your wounds have become your testimonies. Your brokenness has become your initiation. Your silence has become your weapon. And now, the realm that once fought you is being forced to recognize the truth about you. You cannot be defeated. You cannot be replaced. You cannot be hidden anymore. The time you spent in darkness did not break you. It revealed your true endurance. The nights you cried did not weaken you. They purified you. The betrayals did not destroy your heart. They redirected it. The isolation did not erase you. It refined you. And now, what was once used against you is becoming the foundation for your elevation. Chosen one, everything that has fought you is about to bow. The spiritual opposition that once whispered threats is losing power. The internal battles that once drained you are dissolving. You are standing at the threshold of a rise so profound that even your enemies will have no choice but to acknowledge it. The preparation is complete. The evidence has been gathered. Heaven has made its decision. Chosen one, as this message settles deeper into your spirit, something sacred is taking shape around you. There is a shift happening not only within your life, but also in the realm surrounding your name, your calling, and your destiny. You may not see it yet with your physical eyes, but spiritually something is moving. Something precise, something intentional, something long awaited. God is about to reveal justice publicly in a way that leaves no room for confusion. This is not a quiet correction, not a subtle balancing of scales. This is divine exposure, divine reversal, divine vindication unfolding in real time. The same battles that humiliated you, the same situations that tried to silence your purpose, those things are about to be flipped so dramatically that even you will stand in awe of what God is about to do. You have carried injustices for years, some spoken, many unspoken. There are wounds inside you that were never addressed properly, betrayals that were never apologized for, losses that were never compensated, and misunderstandings that distorted your image in the eyes of people who never truly knew you. And although you forgave, although you released, although you moved forward in silence, heaven did not forget what was done. Every wrong that touched your life has been accounted for. Every deception that entangled you has been documented. Every attack that came against your spirit has been weighed. And now the scale has tipped so heavily in your favor that the reversal will be impossible to ignore. The first part of this justice will be illumination. Things that were hidden from you will come out of the shadows. Truths that were once intentionally buried will resurface. False narratives spoken against you will collapse under the weight of divine clarity. People who once believed lies about you will suddenly question their assumptions, not because you spoke, but because the truth will begin speaking for itself. The spiritual realm has already issued the order for exposure, and when the divine light shines, everything that was concealed will be revealed in perfect timing. The second part of this justice will be elevation. Doors that remain shut despite your effort will swing open effortlessly. Opportunities that passed you by before will return with renewed urgency. The places that once rejected you will seek you. The individuals who overlooked you will realize they underestimated someone chosen by heaven. And what makes this elevation so astonishing is that it will not be manufactured by your strength, nor orchestrated by your connections. It will be a direct result of divine intervention. The final part of this justice will be reversal. The very areas where you experienced loss will become the places of abundance. The people who tried to block your path will watch you walk into blessings they cannot touch. The situations that were used to break you will transform into testimonies that strengthen you. God is not simply restoring what was taken, He is multiplying it. He is rebuilding your life from the ground up with a level of grace, power, and favor that exceeds anything you have experienced before. But in the midst of all this movement, there is something profound happening inside you. You are healing. You are awakening. You are shedding layers of pain you did not even realize you had been carrying. Your heart is becoming lighter. Your mind is becoming clearer. Your spirit is gaining confidence. You are learning to trust the process again. You are rediscovering your own power. You are remembering who you are outside of the trauma, outside of the battles, outside of the weight of survival. Your healing is not an accident. It is part of the reversal. For too long, you navigated life while wounded, while weary, while fragmented. Even in your strength, you were hurting. Even in your resilience, you were exhausted. But now, God is stitching together the broken places inside you, not with thread, but with truth, with identity, with purpose. He is reminding you that you are not defined by what happened to you. You are defined by what He is doing through you. And what He is doing through you right now is powerful. You are entering a season where your voice will regain strength, where your intuition will sharpen, where your faith will rise without hesitation. You will begin to notice divine alignment in small ways at first, unexpected confirmations, sudden clarity, moments of peace that feel unnatural given your circumstances. These are signs that the reversal has already begun. And once it begins, nothing and no one can stop it. You are stepping into victory, not the kind you have to fight for, but the kind that appears because God has already gone ahead of you. You are entering a chapter where the blessings will chase you, where the breakthroughs will find you, where the path will clear before you even reach the intersection. Your name is being whispered in rooms you have never stepped into. Your presence is being requested in opportunities you have not even asked for. This is divine orchestration in its purest form. But hear this clearly. Your victory is not just for you. It is for every version of you that suffered, for every season of you that endured silently, for every moment where you kept going despite not knowing how. It is for the child in you that felt unseen, for the teenager in you that felt misunderstood, for the adult in you that carried the weight of the world. Your elevation will vindicate all of them. And now I need you to do something. I need you to agree with what heaven is releasing. Not later, not tomorrow, right now. Speak it out loud or whisper it in your spirit. I receive my divine reversal. Claim it not from desperation, but from alignment. Declare it not from fear, but from certainty. Your words carry authority. Use them. Chosen one, your victory is unfolding. The divine morning order has been activated. The rest of your life is shifting in your favor. And as you continue listening, your awareness will deepen, your spirit will rise, and your understanding will expand into the truth of why everything happened the way it did. Chosen one, as we move into the deeper revelation of what has unfolded in your life, your spirit is already beginning to connect the dots. There is something profoundly meaningful about the attacks you've endured, something precise about the timing, something intentional about the individuals involved, something orchestrated about the patterns that repeated themselves. None of it was random, none of it was coincidental. Every wound carried information, every betrayal held a message, every loss revealed a spiritual law in action. And now, with clarity rising inside you, you can finally begin to understand why the journey felt so harsh, why the isolation felt so heavy, why the pain felt so personal. It is because you were not being punished, you were being positioned. You were targeted not because you were weak, but because you were spiritually potent. You were attacked not because you were flawed, but because you carried something rare, something powerful, something that threatened the comfort of those who lived in darkness or insecurity. Your very existence disrupts patterns. Your presence exposes deception. Your energy activates suppressed truths in others. And for some people, that was too much. They reacted not to who you are, but to what you carry. The spiritual attacks you faced were shaped by a paradoxical law. The more light a soul carries, the more pressure it experiences. Light attracts attention, both divine and adversarial. When a soul is chosen, it becomes a spiritual beacon. It emits a frequency that is noticeable even to those who do not consciously understand it. People were drawn to you without knowing why, and some were repelled by you without understanding their own discomfort. The ones who were intimidated by you often masked their insecurity with hostility. The ones who were threatened by your gifts sometimes framed their jealousy as criticism or control. And the ones who envied your spirit frequently disguised their intentions behind kindness or proximity. This paradox has followed you your entire life. The more you grew, the more resistance you met. When you tried to shrink yourself to make others comfortable, you still faced judgment. When you tried to give more, some people took advantage. When you tried to be humble, others mistook your humility as permission to disrespect you. When you finally chose yourself, people accused you of changing. This is what happens to chosen souls. They are misunderstood at every stage because they do not fit into the psychological frameworks that govern the average mind. But let us go deeper into the psychology of those who stood against you, knowingly or unknowingly. Some people resented you not because you were successful, but because you were resilient. Your ability to endure storms without breaking confused them. They expected your hardships to crush you. They anticipated your silence to weaken you. They assumed your compassion meant you lacked boundaries. Yet every time they thought they had you figured out, you rose again, stronger, wiser, and more refined. And instead of reflecting on their own behavior, they projected their frustration onto you. Others envied your authenticity. They saw in you what they lacked in themselves: courage, inner strength, intuitive wisdom, emotional depth, or spiritual sensitivity. You mirrored their unfulfilled potential, and instead of being inspired, they felt threatened. You became a reminder of what they could not achieve, what they refused to heal, what they feared confronting. And because people often attack what exposes their insecurities, you became a target. Then there were those who simply could not control you. Your independence irritated them. Your ability to walk away confused them. Your refusal to conform made them uncomfortable. You did not bend to manipulation. You did not surrender to pressure. And when they realized they could not shape you into the version of yourself they preferred, some chose to undermine you. But God saw all of it, and none of those attempts ever succeeded in the way they expected. Now, let us address the deeper spiritual paradox. The more opposition you faced, the more you grew. The attacks sharpened your discernment. The betrayals refined your boundaries. The abandonment strengthened your independence. The disappointment increased your wisdom. The loneliness intensified your connection to God. Everything that was meant to weaken you became the very thing that fortified you. You were never losing. You were evolving. What you call hurt, heaven called initiation. What you call unfair, heaven called preparation. What you call wasted years, heaven called foundation. You were being sculpted through contradiction, broken but not destroyed, wounded but not defeated, doubted but not diminished. This paradox is the signature of a soul with a divine mission, and your mission, chosen one, extends far beyond your personal story. You were not created merely to exist. You were created to activate. Your life is designed to stimulate healing, expose deception, dismantle generational patterns, awaken dormant souls, and break cycles of spiritual stagnation. Your presence disrupts what is false and elevates what is true. You may think your influence is small, but spiritually, you are a catalyst. Every environment you entered shifted because of you. Every relationship changed because of you. Every situation evolved after your presence touched it. Your soul's mission is not to be liked, it is to illuminate. And illumination always provokes reactions. Some will rise with you, others will resist you. Some will celebrate you, others will resent you. Some will be magnetized by your energy, others will attempt to dim it. All of this is normal for souls with high calling. It does not mean you are flawed. It means you are effective. And now, as you step into the next chapter of your journey, all the paradoxes begin to make sense. You understand why the battles were relentless. Your purpose is too expansive to be lightly tested. You understand why certain relationships ended. You outgrew the spiritual limitations of those connections. You understand why doors closed. You were being redirected to something aligned, not something convenient. You understand why you felt isolated. You needed silence to hear your true calling. You understand why people reacted strongly to you. Your energy was revealing truths they were not ready to face. You, chosen one, have walked through fire not to be burned, but to be refined. You stood alone not because you were abandoned, but because you were being elevated. You felt confusion not because you lacked clarity, but because you were being divinely rerouted. The attacks you faced were never evidence of weakness. They were confirmation of assignment. And now your mission is ready to unfold with greater clarity, greater authority, and greater purpose. You are stepping into alignment with who you were always meant to become. Chosen one, as we come toward the final movement of this message, your spirit is no longer the same as when you began listening. Something within you has awakened, quietly, steadily, undeniably. A recognition has settled into your chest. You were never ordinary, never forgotten, never abandoned. You have always been marked, guided, and protected, even in the moments where you felt the most lost. The divine hand on your life has never lifted, and now, for the first time in a long time, you can feel it clearly. You can sense the truth rising inside you. You are a chosen one, and nothing about your journey has been accidental. This is the moment where you reclaim your identity, not the version of yourself shaped by pain, not the version shaped by survival, not the version shaped by others' misunderstandings, but the version sculpted by God Himself. You are chosen because your spirit carries a blueprint that no one else possesses. You are chosen because your heart has passed tests that would have broken many. You are chosen because your soul is aligned with a mission that requires courage, depth, and resilience. And while others may have doubted you, heaven never did. There is a shift happening in your atmosphere right now. A gentle, steady, powerful shift. It is the kind of shift that signals a new beginning, not chaotic, not rushed, but intentional. You may not see the full picture yet, but something in you knows your life is moving into alignment. Opportunities will begin to connect with you more naturally. Peace will settle into your mind more consistently. Clarity will come to you more quickly. You will find yourself drawn toward environments that nourish you rather than drain you. You will notice your intuition strengthening, your discernment sharpening, your confidence rooting itself in truth rather than fear. And as this new chapter unfolds, you will also notice a strange sense of calm surrounding you, a calm that used to feel foreign. Where you once felt anxious, you will feel prepared. Where you once felt overwhelmed, you will feel guided. Where you once felt unworthy, you will feel chosen. This is not imagination. This is alignment. This is your spirit entering the terrain it was created for. The positive outcomes approaching your life are not random blessings. They are overdue returns. What you lost emotionally, you will regain with depth. What you lost financially, you will regain with increase. What you lost in relationships, you will regain with authenticity. What you lost in confidence, you will regain with wisdom. Every deficit in your life is about to be balanced. Every gap is about to be filled. Every unanswered question is about to receive clarity. Your life is entering a season of restoration that will make sense of everything you endured. But hear this with intention. You do not rise by accident. You rise by choice. You rise by alignment. You rise by stepping into the identity that God has been whispering to you for years. And now, chosen one, it is time to fully embrace who you are. You are not the outsider people made you feel like. You are not the mistake you once believed you were. You are not the abandoned soul you feared becoming. You are a vessel of divine purpose, and your journey has only just begun. And now I offer you a gentle but powerful call to action, not for me, but for you. Speak life over yourself. Declare alignment over your path. Affirm your calling with authority. You can say it aloud. You can whisper it in your spirit, or you can simply let your heart speak. But choose to agree with what heaven has been preparing. Say something like, I step into my identity as the chosen. I align with my divine path. I welcome the blessings meant for me. Your words activate the very atmosphere you're walking into. Hold this truth close. Your next chapter is protected. Your steps are guided. Your spirit is covered. The things that once threatened to break you no longer have access to you. The people who misused your kindness no longer shape your future. The battles you once fought will never return in the same form. You have crossed into a higher spiritual territory, and nothing from your past can follow you there. Chosen one, let this message settle deep into your being. Let it anchor you. Let it fuel you. Let it remind you in every moment of doubt who you truly are. You are stepping into a season where favor will surround you, where peace will guard you, where opportunity will recognize you, and where your soul will finally feel at home. As you move forward from this moment, may your spirit remain grounded in truth, steady in purpose, and confident in the divine protection covering your life. You are chosen. You have always been chosen. And now the world is about to see what heaven has seen in you all along. Take a breath, receive it, walk in it, and carry this knowing with you wherever you go. Your divine morning order has arrived.